boys and gods of the void, it's Kat here, and today, instead of the normal DBD content I make, this one's going to be a little bit different. On May 2nd, 2025, a DBD creator called Spook made a video talking about another YouTuber who had included him in a video where said YouTuber criticized other DBD content creators, which included Spooks as well as Scott Jund, Aaron Duke, Sky Faction, and Choi, and the DBD community as a whole. This response video sparked a back and forth between Spook and the other YouTuber, who later revealed himself as River Silver, which resulted in River making his own video talking about the debate, and Spooks making one last unedited reaction video. Now, you all must be asking, Kat, if this whole thing is said and done with already, why are you making a video? And why are you inserting yourself when this literally has nothing to do with you? Well, I originally was never going to, and like many other Spooks fans, I was just going to watch the videos, have a laugh and or cringe, and move on. But then Rivers said this.
I haven't heard a single good point from even his most diehard defenders as to how I lost it.
Hearing this, the parasites in my brain began to whisper to me, and like any other sane person, I listened to the voice in my head and went to work. However, unlike River, who showed absolutely zero proof or evidence in both the debate,
I will admit that I did come into the debate fairly unprepared and didn't take it very seriously, while Spook on the other hand had like a notepad of points on his desktop and a court file of classified evidence and information.
And final response video, I will back up my arguments and points with parts from the videos, which I would recommend watching it, Spook's reaction to it, and all other related videos before watching this video in order to have any and all context. I'll be linking them in the description below. Before we officially get things started, there's some things I want to be transparent about. While I am making this video to prove a point, I also wouldn't be truthful to say I didn't have other reasons. Firstly, and obviously both River and Spooks are way bigger than me, and since I'll be using both their names in the tags and or title, it would be disingenuous of me to touch on River's comments about the difference in size of audiences between him and Spooks, and not call it out in my own video, especially because I've been putting a lot of time and effort into my channel as of recently and hopes for growth. Second, it would be disingenuous of me to not admit that I've been watching Spook and Juke since around 2019 to 2020 and therefore have a bias towards him and the points he has made. Despite that, I have tried my best to be as objective and neutral as possible when River makes his arguments. Also, no one sent any type of hate or harassment towards River because doing so is not helping anyone and I don't support that kind of behavior. Now that that's taken care of, let's begin. Now, I don't think I could properly cover this debate until I discuss what a debate is and what makes a good one, at least in my opinion. According to Google, a debate is a formal discussion on a particular topic in a public meeting or legislative assembly, in which opposing arguments are put forward. There are a few things I would have changed to make this debate more formal, like adding a timer so that both parties would have equal time to talk without interruptions, clear communication on what was expected evidence-wise, and maybe having a third neutral party there to act as a mediator. However, in this case, the public meeting is a YouTube video, and the main argument was concerning the DVD content of both YouTubers, so I don't really think formality was a concern, and this debate was more off the cuff and relaxed, since in all reality, it's just two people arguing over a video game and online stuff. That being said, Spook's main point was that River was hypocritical in the way he would criticize others' content when he made similar or the same types of videos, and River's main point was that Spook sucks. In all honesty, no matter how many times I rewatched River's video, there's not really a main point that I could find other than Spooks, anyone associated with him, and all other DVD creators mentioned are bad and stupid and their content is shit. Which is a fine point to have, I guess, except that none of it really seems justified. With all the names he calls them, you would have thought they did something heinous, like burn down his house, kidnap his cat, or something. Speaking of name calling, that leads me into my next segment. Throughout River's final video, he takes whatever shots he can at Spooks.
It's because he's a yes man filtering himself and appealing to the lowest common denominator of drama slop viewers. Because for someone as terminally online as him, I mean, you saw how triggered Spook and Hairline got.
His family or anyone associated with them, along with other DVD creators that were involved in the original video that Spook reacted to.
Just a wholesome family guy with his wife who claims to be black, and his daughter he can show to his cesspool of weirdos on stream for them to say, "Oh, she's so fucking cute, bro." bro. Yeah. I mean, look at how supportive he is. How could someone like this be the bad guy? The thing with him is, though, it's all about looking good, not doing good things. Some envy these types who are able to support an AFK stay-at-home wife. He won't stop making them because he has to support a stay-at-home wife, 2 kids, Tyrone and Scott Junn, like his little brother vying for approval Rapid Main, and his alcoholic unemployed brother who left the family, Aaron Duke. Other people in his bubble, like his butt buddy Scott Junn, just live off slander. I called him out briefly in a few videos, and instead of providing actual good arguments against me, because his brain has been fried from sitting in a room with dirty laundry and sweatpants for the past decade and telling people what they want to hear in a text-to-speech voice reading off patch notes, he just slanders me in the top comment of Spook's video saying that I got destroyed, which he doesn't tell me how because they never do, thinking is hard, and that I ducked a debate with him, and that I deleted his comments. Spook, Scott Junn, and Rapid Man are sort of like always on each other's asses and they can do no wrong. Regardless of who makes a good point, they'll never hear it. It's hilarious, but his fans don't care about doing their own research on stuff like this because they just want to join in on the dog pile regardless of evidence because they're miserable. I wouldn't mind it if it was constructive, but this is just kind of cringe.
His followers and community.
I'm sure you emotional robots will have some good arguments, and won't just groupthink and blindly attack someone who doesn't tell you what you want to hear. Nowadays, he's one of the biggest figures in the community, preaching his milquetoast takes to his legions of orbiters while killing people in broad daylight and not being funny or entertaining, and using his legions of droids experiences firsthand from his slave. His fanbase tends to be the types who just live on Twitter and love this type of drama and love the negative interaction and love dogpiling on people. You know the type of person I mean. Fanbase loves it because they're just a hive mind of unemployed, drama-hungry losers. Influence on all these slaves, it makes sense that they'd be the types of miserable, terminally online goblins, of group-thinking sheep with no original thoughts in their head. And got his legions of droids, he loves the fact that he's built up this community of yes-men, and these lolcows who make them don't believe what they're doing at all. They just know it will work from how much this community loves dogpiling on people with no evidence.
And even something as small as the tags on his YouTube video.
Great tags, by the way. You're clearly just doing this for passion and nothing else. And you can tell he knows that because he spams his tags with them even when it's not relevant to the video at all.
It's extremely obvious that River uses personal attacks as a crutch for his arguments, whereas the worst I've heard Spook call him is a coward and an idiot. Which leads to my next point. If you thought his main form of debating, if you could even call it that, is name-calling, then do I have a treat for you. In a clip from the debate that River provides in his video, you can see on his screen that he has the definition of a straw man argument up on his stream. Let's read it, shall we? In his screenshot, a straw man argument is a typological fallacy where someone misrepresents or exaggerates an opponent's argument to make it easier to attack and refute. As we can see, this kind of argument is broken down into misrepresentation to make the point an easy attack to avoid the real argument. Now, I'm sure that since River brought up this screenshot, surely he would not dare to do anything that would be considered this, right?
These holier-than-thou public executions being the most obnoxiously pretentious things in the entire community. Power-hungry losers can just slander me to death. And I honestly would respect him more if he just owned the fact that he kills people. And if you want to know what his fanbase is actually like and how much they eat people alive for disagreeing with their god, just look at the comments on this video. It is so unbelievable. And his fanbase came in droves to send me harassment and the death threats. You know, the usual. They were sending the most copy-paste, uninteresting, black and white comments while punching down with no real argument. Despite the legions of fanboys telling me, "You got cooked, bro," which happens to basically anyone he makes a slander piece on, they could never tell me why or how I actually lost and failed to make good arguments, because they're incredibly emotional and parasocial.
Besides making exaggerated claims, River claims points as provable or says that they are provably true.
These people he makes hit pieces on usually stay in their own lane and never go out of their way to harass anyone outside of the game, and he just sits there on his high horse and punches down while his fans go into the random streamer's chat and send them tons of harassment provably. Despite his videos provably not impacting anyone in a positive way or changing anyone's mind. All of this is factually untrue, but they don't care.
Despite never showing proof, but the proof he does show doesn't prove the point he's trying to make or doesn't prove his point at all. For a more specific example, he provides a look at Spook's YouTube channel when comparing his views to videos where he calls out salty streamers to his other videos.
And look, I know this isn't only what he's known for, but they are by far the biggest videos on his channel, and it's not even close.
But as you can see, a video where he got salt from a survivor in a game he played on his stream got more views than a video about a salty streamer. I've also watched the other videos he's mentioned and showed as proof.
The people he makes videos on almost always get harassment and will sometimes even quit the game afterwards. See this video for more information. But you gotta get that paycheck in a dog-eat-dog world, I guess. The guy who doxed Proventus' mod is provably someone in the Spooks fanbase, because the Twitter account was linked to someone defending him for saying the N-word.
But they were so convoluted that they still didn't make sense after watching them 3 to 4 times. The merciless underscore which one is literally a bunch of PNGs talking to each other in AI voices, and the other is just some guy going to Twitter and an email, and it's somehow supposed to prove that the person was targeted by Spook fans. To be honest, both videos felt like I was feeding my brain a nothing sandwich. He also brought up this joke tweet that Spook made and takes it seriously, like so many people on Twitter, and uses it as even more proof.
Whenever he does get into minor controversies because he actually said something he truly believes in, he'll either misconstrue what actually happened and paint his narrative, as he always does, or he'll just backpedal and pretend he didn't believe in it, and everything will be left as it should be because he's not used to facing actual criticism. Take that Small Koniki situation, for example, where he posted a tweet complaining about the PTB, and people were actually against him for once and making good arguments against his crying, and he pulled out the "I was just joking, bro." Just watch this video by Motherwell, and it shows how he actually acts when things don't go his way, and he gets a taste, just a little taste, of the types of things he does to other people.
As even more proof, River mentions a few streamers by name, which I want to say for the record that I knew none before watching River's video, and I'm going to touch on each situation one by one, but not too long since I don't want to deviate too far from what I actually want to talk about. First with Provengeance. I really have nothing to say about River's comments towards Spook's video, as that's more of an opinion than anything. But what I did want to talk about was River's claim that Spooks edited down the debate between himself and Provengeance.
He always knows how to edit around situations in subtle ways to paint the narrative. Like when he cut out 2/3 of the Provengeance debate when he was actually making good points.
If Provengeance made good points and it's clear from the video that it's the whole debate, then why didn't you put said good points into your video? Second is One Letter Shore, where River claims Spooks fans reported his PlayStation account so much that it got his account banned.
Spook's video on One Letter Shore provably got his PlayStation account banned like days after the video came out because of the mass reporting. This is not a coincidence, but it's all about analyzing the behavior, right?
As you can see from the screenshots River provides, this was not the first time PlayStation had punished him for something that he did, and shows that the thing he was eventually banned for was something he had previously been warned about. So I think it's safe to say, no matter what River may think, it is just a coincidence. Third is Matthew Santoro, and in my opinion, it would be better for you guys to check out Spook's videos on him to better understand his point of view. But this is what River has to say about all of it.
Get Matthew Santoro, for example. Spook and Jukes made a video on him a few years ago about how he rages at the game and blah blah blah. Then for the next 2 years, he was just cool with him. Like, they were just good friends and they swift together and shit. Despite Matthew Santoro being such an unbearable man-child and like pulling up people's profiles, he was just cool with him because he faked an apology to the point where he deleted the video. You think for what his content stands for, he would never associate with someone who's done stuff like that, but it just doesn't matter to him. He pretends like he cares, but he doesn't. Matthew not changing and putting on a mask shows you that these analysis of behavior videos don't really help anyone. Like, no one gets reformed and nothing positive happens for anyone but him. And he only recently came back to disown him, not because he cares, but because it would make him look bad to support such a toxic individual, despite people telling you about this for years after you privated the video.
After hearing what River has to say, it's almost like he's never been given or has given the benefit of the doubt before. Like, genuinely, has he never been in a position where he's close to someone who keeps doing shitty things or making mistakes and wants to have a good relationship with them, so you keep giving them chances in hopes that they stop their behavior? In Spook's most recent video about Matthew, it's clear he viewed Matthew as a friend and got taken advantage by Matthew because of it. Spooks might be a big YouTuber that makes content where he's sarcastic and argumentative, but he's a human with empathy and compassion, like the rest of us. Except River, I guess, since he doesn't seem to understand Spook's reasoning. The only semi-solid argument he makes is about what Spook says about not watching videos you don't like.
In the video on me, he unironically said, if you don't like the content, don't watch it, lol.
Or Scott Jund, he uploads discussion videos. He doesn't like that he uploads discussion videos. He says it's boring and lazy. Who cares? You don't like their content, don't watch it. Why are you sitting here fucking bitching about it and whining like a little baby?
which is hilarious coming from him because that's his entire channel. Going after people who aren't hurting anyone and staying in their own lane, and making videos on them where if you don't like them, just don't watch them, lol. I've always hated this argument. It's like telling a film reviewer that if they don't like the movie they're making a review on, then they just shouldn't watch it. Like, stop being so negative, bro. Like, it's such a bad point because people like talking about bad things, especially when they, like me, feel there's room for improvement, and the content of the community could be so much better.
However, River does not expand on this idea at all, and instead goes on to talk about the debate, which I will also be talking about in this next section. Despite how the debate is the main focus of the video, River uses very few clips from it, and in this part I'll be referencing two of them. One was what I referred to before and grabbed the strawman argument screenshot from, and he makes a point that uses Olympic levels of mental gymnastics to make sense.
But don't worry, in my debate with him, he plausibly denied that he was pretentious and didn't want to come off that way.
Go criticize everybody else for being pretentious. That doesn't make any sense.
So you're saying this...
And I don't even think I'm pretentious. I don't try to be pretentious. You admitted to being pretentious.
Yeah, that's because I'm not...
In your videos, you constantly gas yourself up and talk about how much effort, and I don't gas myself up in my videos. If anything, I talk shit about myself in my videos. I don't praise myself. I don't gas myself up.
And the other is the part of the debate where Spooks tells River to turn his camera on and show his face.
Well, he told me to turn on my webcam fairly early because I made fun of some dude for being fat or something. I don't have a webcam, but if I did, what would have happened? Would he have mocked me if I wasn't conventionally attractive? Like, what kind of an argument even is this? Yeah,
would you mind turning on the webcam for us here today?
I don't have a webcam. I have a video, but there's other videos.
Can we get a look at you?
That show my face.
In 2025, you don't have a webcam.
No, I'm not a fucking streamer like you. Like I have no.
Oh.
I made a video called "Why I Quit Geometry Dash." Go to the last little bit of that video. It's me holding a poster of my cat. That is me. I am just an average fucking slightly overweight white guy, fucking racist gamer stereotype. Like there is nothing special about me at all.
Why did you say racist gamer stereotype?
I'm trying to fit on your agenda here.
What River can't understand is that the reason Spook asked him to turn on his camera was to show River's hypocrisy when it comes to making fun of people's appearances. Basically, his point was that other people had been able to get online with a face cam and, seeing this, River mocked what they looked like, but when it was River who would be the one to show what he looked like in real life, he didn't have the courage to turn on a camera or even send a pic, and instead told Spook to look to the very end of a YouTube video that's 2 years old. Like, come on, dude. Let's be real. Unless someone is that curious or is working on a video like I am, no one's going through all that effort just to see what you look like. Moving on to the poll, I could say for certain that this is the saddest, most pathetic part of the video. I'll just let you guys watch the clips. Later, I made a poll on my community tab just to see what the common consensus was for the debate. Not to prove that I won, because I never, ever said that I won it. And initially for the first day, the 50-50 was by far the most voted answer. It stayed at 50-50 until Spookajukes uploaded the debate on his channel, sending all of his fans to mass dislike and mass vote for him on the poll, without keeping the power balance in mind, by the way. Of course he won the poll after making the debate video on me. I think mathematically 160,000 is a bigger number than around 3,000, but with how rabid and degenerate his fanbase are, they're obviously gonna vote for him. He's basically patting himself on the back here and giving himself an award with no self-awareness of the 1v100, and having everyone on his side already because he's a much bigger creator. I don't have much to say here except that Rivers just cannot handle the fact that he lost his own poll, and you can hear it in every excuse he makes, especially the countless times he blames it on the power imbalance, which leads me to my next point. The amount of times that River brings up the size of his channel compared to Spook's channel is astronomical. Unlike other videos calling out bad people or the worst YouTuber in a community, I'll be going for someone who, for the most part, is widely loved and much bigger than me. Eventually, he just gave up and started punching down again. Their entire personalities are built off punching down at a much smaller creator, but I guess the rent is due because crushing people is his full-time job. And that's not even counting the times where he attempts to paint himself as the victim.
Using any scummy tactic to punch down, see someone like me who's just getting started and immediately punch down when the witch hunting and punching down content is more common here than ever. He has, in my opinion, the most absurdly negative impact on the community, with his content that promotes witch hunting and vilification of the underdogs in situations to write off them for personal gain. Number 2 is that these people are so irrational and stupid, it's fun to argue with them, at least for a little. It's like a power fantasy for me knowing that even though I'm the underdog with so many people coming from a 100 times bigger channel over a 30-second call out, that none of them are actually able to prove me wrong, and it's fun to fuck with them. Cannot scare me off with your mob of worshippers fueled by slander. It would terrify you though, but I can handle it. I'm here to stay and I'm just getting started despite you trying to kill me so early on. So let me paint you a picture. Say there's a 40k subscriber YouTube channel, but all the subscribers are from stuff he did before. And after being on and off and inactive for a while, he decides, hey, I like this game a lot, I've been playing it for a while, and the content is really bad overall. Maybe I could find a niche? A few videos later, he's around 42k, so basically 2,000 from Dead by Daylight, and he hasn't even been making stuff for a month yet. He makes an incredibly harsh and critical video on why he doesn't like the DBD community in general, dedicating one of the 3 segments in the video to calling out content creators, and dedicating one of the 5 segments of that segment to briefly talking about Spook and Jukes and similar creators for about 30 seconds. In turn, this absolute man-child who cannot take and is not used to receiving criticism, especially constructive criticism, makes his 8-minute hit piece on a much smaller and newer creator based on a brief call out in a 20-minute video that wasn't even remotely about him, dedicating the entire video to strawmanning his channel with a bunch of no-you arguments and painting a narrative of slander and misinformation. Surely someone like this could never be the bad guy, right? And yes, it is hilarious for someone like this whose main argument is calling people offended. Like, he literally says I was offended by bad content, like it's just criticism.
Motherfucker, you are so offended by every form of Dead by Daylight content that you had to make an entire video about it and whine about each individual type of content. You know, I don't like gameplay. I don't like discussion. Wah. There's too much drama. Dude, you're fucking whining about everything. Who is the offended one?
But at the same time, is trying to act like he's some sort of tough guy.
The number 3 reason why I don't really care is because I do have thicker skin than a lot of people he targets.
The best part of all this is that when comparing numbers, he doesn't even count all his subscribers, as you can see from this screenshot from his comment under the poll. However, on average, his DVD videos have about 1.5k views, which, if you do the math, 15.5k is bigger than 3k, and the video that have Spook either in the title and or thumbnail have at least 10k views each. So the supposed just 3k that he's gained from making DVD content doesn't matter, since his DVD videos get about 3 times that many viewers on average. It's also a stupid point to make, in my opinion, since it does nothing but make River look more like the victim when it's convenient for him. But anyways, I think it's about time to wrap things up, and this last part is less about evidence and more speaking on my opinions and thoughts after making this video. In all reality, I had another section planned out for this video where I would dissect specific clips from River's video with a more in-depth responses. But the more I would rewatch the clips, the more I realized that they were just things River said or included to get a rise out of people, and I was most likely just falling for bait, so I decided not to go through with it. I'm also just so mentally drained from getting these clips together, trying to organize and make sense of them, write this video script, and record and edit this video. I'm very much over listening to River's non-point points on repeat, and I'm pretty sure my brain is melted like ice cream left out on a hot blacktop of a parking lot because of them. Putting aside his asinine content, I'm sure some of you must be asking, what do you think about River in general? Well, in my opinion, River comes off like an edgy younger brother who had unrestricted internet access growing up and thinks calling people slurs and insulting them is funny, which is plain to see in literally any of his content. In this video, he downplays what happened between Miss Dual Threat and the other streamer in this clip.
His fans are also the ones who instigate situations and then cut out the context and play the victim, and then send him the clip of the toxic streamers, as we saw with Miss Dual Threat, sending him the evidence of One Letter Short harassing her, which was so incredibly nothing because everything was kept inside the game. He was just making fun of a clearly vapid streamer, but I guess he deserves getting his account banned for that.
Which, if you haven't seen the video that Spooks made, the other streamer was upset about pride charms and then made fun of Miss Dual Threat for being a woman. So, just by that clip alone, you could tell that River doesn't see sexism or homophobia as an issue. River has also made fun of people by using the word autistic as an insult, as well as not seeing anything wrong with using the R slur. He also called Spooks caring about minorities and tweeting about it as virtue signaling.
He's always able to paint the picture to make himself look like the righteous one, and will virtue signal and pander every chance he gets, and none of his fans will see through it.
Which the only reason he would think that is because the only reason he would do it is to look good on social media. Like I've already said in the Matthew Santoro part, people have emotions like empathy and compassion. But when it comes to minorities, there are plenty of individuals who will go out of their way to be nasty to them or make fun of them. Like River, to be honest. And when creators like Spook post stuff like that, it makes those who constantly get shit on hopefully feel a little better. As someone who is pan, gender fluid, neurodivergent, and is in a blatantly queer relationship myself, when creators come out in support of things like the LGBTQ plus community, it makes me smile and have a small bit of hope that people can become more accepting. But I digress. River's not someone I would want to be involved with personally, and besides making this video, and maybe one more if he responds to this video, on a content creator level either. Like, you are out of your mind if you think I'd live debate this guy. As I stated in the very beginning, I made this video to prove a point. And with all the arguments I made, I think I'd accomplish that. And if not, I don't care because I'm tired and I want this to end. But after this video, I have more of my normal content planned, so keep an eye out for it. And I hope you have a good day, afternoon, or night, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!